Boom! 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 Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Live Connection podcast. I'm Peter. Today, I got Jared, Jack, and Grayden here. Did the pointing work, guys, on your screens?
Not on my screen.
Well, you know
what else didn't work?
What?
You know what else didn't work, Peter? You didn't say the joke that you said you were going to say at the beginning
about
of the podcast.
About Grayden?
Yeah.
Grayden's... This is actually the Grayden show, because it only starts when Grayden gets here. How's it going, guys? How's your Sunday?
Okay. I worked a 6-day shift this week, and then I was just like, I don't know if I stayed up late last night, so I got like 5 hours of sleep. So I'm probably just gonna go drop dead once we finish up here. But other than that, I'm good.
While you're awake, good enough.
Yeah.
Wow, this week for me, this week was a lot. I've had a lot riding up to this week. I don't know if you've heard, but there's this game called Cyberpunk that came out.
Delayed.
It did not get delayed. Maybe it should have, but it's out, and I played it.
Is this an indie game, Peter? I've never heard you speak about it before.
It's not an indie game. It's.
I've never. Yeah.
I know it's not really on brand of me, but Cyberpunk is out.
I think you're more excited about Cyberpunk than you were about any indie game ever in your life.
I've never seen Peter this excited about it.
Does that supersede you as indie Peter?
No, it's a one-time occurrence, okay? Please don't judge my entire character off this one game.
Until CD Projekt Red's next game.
It's good. It's good that you are fiscally responsible about this and didn't spend your money way in advance, not knowing what the end product was going to look like right at off the cuff.
Well, speaking of pre-orders, the game was pre-ordered 8 million times. 8 million times. That's going to start my segment of the good and bad of Cyberpunk's launch. So
there is a decent amount of bad that came through,
but there's a decent amount of good.
There is I'd say it's about 50-50, but there's more bad than I think they would have wanted on a launch.
Well, we're starting with the good, 'cause everyone loves the good news. So yeah, 8 million pre-orders, about 60% being on PC. For reference, The Witcher 3 had 1.5 million pre-orders. So just a couple more. So this is actually a record for PC gaming. The new WoW Shadowlands previously broke this record at like 3.75 million units. So this one shattered it on PC by about 1 million units. On Steam, it's had a record for concurrent players in a single player game at 1 million people. That's a lot of Cyberpunk at the same time.
So I just did a quick number crunch. At $60 US per pre-order, you're looking at $480 million just off of pre-orders.
Yeah, from pre-orders alone, the game earned back all the development costs over the 8 years it took, as well as all their marketing costs. Before day one, they were like, nothing but profit, baby. That's pretty fucking good if you ask me.
That's pretty nice.
You know what? That might have given them some push towards delaying their game, because if there was issues, they would have been like, "Man, all these people they pre-ordered, we can't fuck this up."
And the last good note is that the CD Projekt Red executives took responsibility for how the game launched, rather than like pointing a finger at ground level developers, which is nice to see. They also changed how their employee bonus system works, because before Cyberpunk, they were going with the narrative that if it didn't get a 90 or above on Metacritic, no employee gets bonuses, which is nuts. That is so nuts. You're tying bonuses to a number on a third-party website that's like based off different review structures and like numerical systems and different gaming journalists.
The good news is I've rarely seen Metacritic give like a rating below a 9.
But like still like.
The guy at Metacritic
depend on their bonuses.
He only gives below 9s to companies that are like, we're basing it on a 9 on Metacritic.
I'm giving you an 8.9.
So close, but so far.
So I'm glad that was changed, but sadly that's the end of the good about Cyberpunk's launch.
There is some bad, especially with how the game looks on some, say, last gen consoles.
Yeah, the base level like Xbox One and PS4, I've heard it's essentially unplayable. I've seen some gameplay and ugh. Like for me on the Xbox One X, it runs okay when I'm on foot. It runs fine. It's playable, but if I'm driving or there's a big gunfight, goodbye frames, and it crashes about once an hour.
Once an hour?
It's crashed 3 times, and I have about 3 hours of gameplay in it. And for that reason, I'm waiting a little bit, because audio, like visual glitches, I can deal with that. Whatever. It doesn't actually affect how I'm playing the game. But crashes? That many crashes? Yeah, that's not good.
Is the game like a frequent autosave system, or is it like you have more reliant on you saving?
No, I've been just from autosaves. I haven't really lost any, like maybe 5-10 minutes progress.
Okay,
it's
so
more just annoying than
Because there's been times, like, I'll just use Wasteland 3 as an example, because Erik and I are recording it, where it has an autosave feature, but it is an extraordinarily rare thing that occurs that it autosaves. So there's been times where Erik and I quick save before every single encounter, because there was one time, I think it was episode 4, where we essentially had to replay episode 3 because it put us back that far in the game.
Just call it a warm-up.
But you know what's interesting about that? The fact that it's the last gen consoles that are causing issues. It was also the last gen consoles that caused the most recent delay of the game, because they said that it wasn't like, I'd hate to see how it would have launched before this on the last gen consoles, because that is, if it's this rough after being like, hey, we're delaying it to optimize it for this console, and now the optimization is like, ooh, that's a little rough.
Well, like, I didn't know this till the game launched, but like the next gen like edition, the upgrades, there's not even a date on when that's coming out. Sometime next year. So you can't even play with next gen enhancements yet. It's literally just
serious?
Yeah, like if you're playing it on the Series X, it'll run better, but you don't get like ray tracing or any of like the optimization. So like, what are you doing for the last 6-8 months, buddy?
Well, you know what that means is I'm gonna wait to play it until I get my new TV, like Grayden's TV, and then I'll have my new console and the new TV, and my game will look amazing instead of just like better. But
yeah, no,
you get a new TV? Sorry, I missed that.
No, I'm gonna get one probably next year at some point.
Nice.
I'm next year when they go on a big sale, probably around summertime, or I'll see if I can get in one of those VIP sales that I've been helped with by Matt a few times.
And so, continuing with the bad news, because it doesn't stop there, baby. CJ Project Red from December 4th to 11th dropped 29%. That's a big drop. Yeah. With on launch day, it dropped 7.3%. And that happened even though they announced like, hey, we got 8 million pre-orders. So investors, I don't think they expected that much backlash, even with the high sales. I think their confidence in CJ Project Red's a little shaken. So, and this is on top of a further drop of 25%, like that happened 2 months ago after the reports of like delay and the crunch. So their stocks are not in a good place right now.
I mean, look at it this way: like because of COVID, the consoles they haven't been able to produce enough of the next gen consoles to like pump out to a vast majority of people, right? And then on top of that, the game, it would run good on next gen console, but they have no next gen enhancement yet. And if you have the other generation of the console, you're going to be doing exactly what you said. You're either going to be running into crashes, you're going to have visual audio glitches. It's just going to be a rough time playing through. It gives like that sour taste in your mouth.
And that brings me to my last point. Based off all this, it seems like CG Projekt Red has been super deceptive with the public leading up to Cyberpunk's launch. Big lack of transparency. So reviewers, they're only given access to the PC copy of the game, not the console. So they're trying to hide that. So when these reviewers could begin posting reviews started on the 7th. But they weren't allowed to use their own footage. Only footage provided by CJ Projekt Red. They could post a real real review with their own gameplay on the 9th, the day before of only the PC version. So they wanted to hide the gameplay as long as they could, and they only wanted to show the PC gameplay because that's the best running gameplay. So when the console editions came out, it was just a big fucking surprise to everyone, even the reviewers.
Well,
So
I think it was who is it? ACG's that big one of those bigger reviewers, and they said that they didn't even take the early copy, because they said they outright said we're not taking it because they're not letting us do our like legitimate review.
Yeah.
It's like they're forcing us to do it a certain way. So when they said that, I was like, oh
Yeah.
I was like, that's not good, because that's a big group. Like they get the games like almost every game well before launch, and they do a review of it.
Yeah, I honestly expected more CJ Projekt Red. Like they kept saying, like, we want the game to be ready when it launches. That's why we're delaying it. That clearly went out the window. Like,
here's some good news. It's ready if you're a PC player. It looks great. It looks really fun if you're playing it on PC.
Yeah, I was watching, or not watching, but I was looking at a thing where they did like they did the images where they'd have the same image 3 side by side to each other. So they had PS4, PC, Xbox One, and it's just there's scenes where it's like all of a sudden there's a random blur of light that's not even there on the PC version. You're like, what the fuck is going on with this? Like, the guns looked like untexturized. They're just like a piece of like color in your hand that you're holding, and it's just, I mean, again, those are probably they probably picked the worst images to show the difference, but it's still that's a rough launch, especially after that many delays. That's a rough launch on their part, and that's quite a large hit to their stocks.
I guess the good thing that you can take from this is that CD Projekt Red has been good about stuff like this in the past, and odds are you'll get some sort of stimulus package. You'll get patches to fix a lot of that stuff. CD Projekt Red, knowing how good they are with the public, they'll probably be like, oh, if you bought this version that doesn't work on the old generation, here's a free copy on the next generation, or whatever.
At the minimum,
like
yeah.
So
yeah, I'm a little disappointed, but I tried to look at the game as unbiased as I could, because I've been obviously excited about it, so I'm obviously going to try to see the very best I can out of it. But
of course,
I do think once it's fixed and all the bugs are ironed out, I think it will live up to the hype. The decisions, they clearly matter. It's very clear that even small decisions will change the gameplay path. They'll at least change enough of the dialogue to make it, even in the 3 hours I play, feel like, oh, this is interesting. Okay, this isn't Fallout 4 at all. That's what I'd like to see. The second thing that really stood out to me was like all the cutscenes are done like in engine. Like the same reason that the Spider-Man PS4 really impressed me with, like, it'd be cutscene and then all of a sudden you're in the game. It's like, whoa, there's no black screen fade out. I'm just right into it. That feels cool. There's a lot of that in Cyberpunk with just the big story moments that I've been in thus far. So what I've seen excites me, and I can't wait to play more.
have any of your 3 crashes happened during a cutscene?
No.
Or a transition from a cutscene to gameplay?
No, I don't think. It's mainly when I'm entering and exiting buildings.
Okay.
So the typical open world crash location is the load screen.
Yeah.
No, that's good to hear. I'm excited. Like I like the open world concepts. I mean, you know, as I've previously said, I've been complaining about Assassin's Creed because it's too fucking big. Like it is. I'm overwhelmed by all the stuff I have to deal with it, but it is nice to see that that they're taking the choice based quite seriously in Cyberpunk, because I'm really looking forward to that aspect, and I like how they've, from what I've read about it, because I haven't played it at all. I have it installed. It's sitting here. I could turn on, but I've heard that you can make, like, you have multiple different backgrounds you can choose for your character, and that can change quite a bit of the game for you as well. So it's like they've made this so, you know, you're not just going to play this game once. You're going to probably play it at least 2 times through just to, like, see a different angle to it. And I love when games do that, because it's awesome when you can play a game multiple times and almost every time it's a different, unique experience going through a game. And to me, that's where you've had a successful open world. If you have an open world game where it's like you play it through once and it's like, okay, I've explored it to, like, its fullest, I feel like it lacks in depth, because I feel like if a game's that big, there's got to be differences between playthroughs, right? Like you have to. Like if it isn't, then you just underdeveloped story essentially.
Yeah, I feel the same way, and that's why I didn't mind like doing a playthrough on this generation, because I already with how much replayability there appears to be, I can't quite tell yet how much that story, that life path is going to change. It seems more just be like, oh, I can say this dialogue option sometimes. Ooh. But we'll see. But yeah, I'm going to do a playthrough on this gen and then next gen for replayability and to see the upgrades.
I'll definitely like once. Oh, sorry. Go for it, Grayden.
I was just going to ask, Peter, is there, because I haven't really done any research into the game, I'm kind of going blind here, and it sounds like I'll be waiting a while before I do that. But is there something like Mass Effect where there's like the Paragon and the Renegade? Like, can you go to either extreme? And does it have like a system for that?
I don't think there's a system for that, but you can definitely take whatever approach you want. That's how it seems to play.
I'm assuming it almost has a discrete version of that, where it's like, you know, if you make more decisions that say you decide to kill people instead of, you know, be the savior, or I don't know. I haven't played, so I'm just kind of speculating. But I'm assuming there's like it butterfly effects down the ramp, where it's like if you're a dick, like people are going to approach you in that manner where it's like, man, this guy's an asshole, or this guy's a super nice person, like he helps out everyone that needs help, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think there will be that to an extent. Like even the way like the skill and perk level system is built, because it's like Skyrim, where like if you're constantly sneaking, your sneak's gonna go up. It uses the same kind of system where, like, for my first playthrough, I kind of just want to be no stealth, all violence, just pure selfish killer. That's kind of the goal for playthrough 1. So while doing that in a couple hours, all my handgun skills have just gone through the roof, but nothing else I've really progressed yet.
You know, if you want that real great open world Cyberpunk experience, what you could just do is play the 1988 Cyberpunk tabletop role-playing game that
Where it all
the entire
started.
world of Cyberpunk is based on. And I guarantee you'll have a great time. And your choices will have even more direct impact on the story than they would in the game. You can do anything. You can do absolutely anything. It's your imagination.
I've checked out the board game a little bit. Looks cool.
I will say
It's a tabletop role-playing game, Peter.
Well, I mean...
Yeah, I can't believe you fucking insulted. That's your DM you're talking to, Peter. That is your
Oh, I didn't realize I was... He woke up with a heart attack.
I will say, Peter,
style.
just talking about your statement where you're like, you're going to play it through once on the current gen and then play it through another time on the next gen. I will say it is pretty neat to see that difference. I mean, I didn't play Assassin's Creed through all the way on the last generation console, but when I did upgrade it and did the enhanced Xbox Series X enhancement, when I was playing it, there was like a noticeable difference in like frames and everything. Like you could see it, and I thought that was really, really cool. I'm excited. That's kind of why, like, since it runs okay, it runs fine on Series X for Cyberpunk. I'm looking forward to playing it through once and then seeing it when it's enhanced for the Series X, because I think that's going to be a cool experience for that game, especially if I've played the whole thing through and then I enhance it, because I feel like that's going to be quite a cool comparison to see. So it's like Jack said, it's CD Projekt Red. They're usually pretty good about this shit, where it's like they actually do care about their fan base. I mean, it's unfortunate that, it was kind of shady, but they don't have a reputation for that, so I don't think it's going to be a big deal.
But look at their actions. Look at what they've been doing. Look at that giant negative list I provided. That gives me a bad taste in my mouth, because I agree, they're very consumer friendly, I would say, but their recent actions say otherwise.
I think it was a weighing of, do we delay it again? And like it probably was a lot to do with that, where it's like, do we delay it another time?
I don't think they could have. I don't think
they could have. I think they would have pissed too many people off. I think honestly it was the best of two evils to release it and be like, you know what, we get it. It's not optimized for this, but I don't know. There's really no good approach. It was a lose-lose situation, no matter how they went about it.
Like if it runs poorly, yeah, whatever. But like crashing that many times, that's That's bad. That's really bad. That's like borderline unplayable.
Did it even crash on your Xbox One X?
Like, did it do like the system shutdown?
Yeah.
No, it didn't. Just like the game crashed.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's pretty rough. Like, I'd say in most open world games, you'll get, one or two crashes eventually in your lifetime of playing it, but to have it that frequently, that is a little bit rough.
Yeah. Other glitches I can tolerate, but not that. I'm gonna be waiting till that's fixed to play it again. Why even bother?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Hopefully they get an update soon for some of that more
aggressive
systematic stuff. Yeah.
I get what you're saying, that you've lost, or not necessarily lost confidence, but like Jack was saying, CD Projekt Red has done so much good, and they're like, in my opinion, in my viewpoint, one of the best developers for their games.
Well,
that's out there right now.
They're not infallible, though.
They're not infallible, no.
But they don't get a free pass because they did well on their last game.
I was going to say, it's a slippery slope. Like, a lot of companies have hit that slippery slope and have just been going down after they hit that slippery slope of not caring about their fan.
They still, like, certain companies have lost that. Like, I held them up here, and then they're down here. Like, CD Projekt Red is still up here for me.
Well, isn't because what games other than Witcher 3 has CD? I don't
Witcher
actually know the answer to this.
Yeah, Witcher 1, Witcher 2.
Have they been almost exclusively Witcher developers for?
They have a few other things. Let's use the old Google.
Because I was genuinely curious about this, because I was like the only game I've ever played that I'm aware of that CD Projekt Red developed, which was a phenomenal game, was Witcher 3. But I don't know if, like, because to me it's like, yeah, from my experience they've been way up here just because I've only played one game.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I have to read their entire line of games out loud because it is a little bit funny. So, 2007, The Witcher. 2011, The Witcher 2, Assassin of Kings. 2014, The Witcher Adventure Game. 2015, The Witcher Battle Arena. 2015, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. 2015 and 2016, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, the two expansions. 2018, Gwent, The Witcher card game. 2018, Thronebreaker, The Witcher Tales. 2020, Cyberpunk 2077.
Yikes! Yeah.
See, so for me, it's like, you can say, like, I never played Witcher 1 or 2, so I can't comment on that at all. But I'm assuming since Witcher 3 had such a following, I'm assuming Witcher 1 and 2 were pretty good games for their time when they were developed. But I mean, they, like, the only game I can say that they've done really good on is Witcher 3. So for me, I'm like, yeah, for that game, top-notch company, like, excellent game. The expansions were some of my favorite DLCs I think I've played out of any game I've played.
Yep.
Especially Blood and Wine. Blood and Wine was excellent DLC. But I mean, it's a slippery slope. You start to. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot to uphold in a company that has that kind of standard. Like, now it's like, okay, now how do we go there, right? And from where we are, and they didn't do that. If anything, they dropped slightly. Hopefully, being the good company that they were for Witcher, they get back up there. But it's a slippery slope. There's a lot of good companies that have kind of just gone downhill in the last, I'd say, 5-ish years.
I think what the issue is that they were so used to making medieval fantasy games that they weren't prepared for the technology required to render such a beautiful, realistic future city. The technology maybe won't be there until the real year 2077. They bit off more than they could chew.
Too much neon.
Ambition.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but if you actually want the Cyberpunk experience, you can play the Cyberpunk's, or you can race Cyberpunk's car in Forza Horizon 4.
You can. At 60 frames too.
At 60 frames.
What this list just made me realize is that CD Projekt Red has only adapted other people's worlds, because they have the video game rights to Andrzej Sapkowski's Witcher series, and they apparently have the video game rights to Cyberpunk, which was a tabletop role-playing game before anything else, is based on my research, which is kind of crazy.
I never thought about
so
that.
So they're like the adaptation studio. It's
kind of neat though, because you sometimes say that, where it's like you guys got me into you and Grayden got me into D&D quite a lot. I love playing D&D when we do our D&D sessions. Regardless of my character's flaws that are just bountiful.
We're talking about you jumped over that underground river so well. I was like, oh, okay, someone's gonna fall into this underground river. You fuckers didn't roll under a 15.
Listen, I'm gonna have to play at least 3 more characters to overcome what happened with my fucking spear underneath the cage. Because I sat there for 7 turns, like it's not coming. I can't pull it up this way. Oh fuck. Anyways, it was really fun to see with Baldur's Gate 3 that I could now play like D&D more often, but just through a gaming kind of through a game instead of doing it just through the tabletop. So I don't know. I kind of like that. I find it really cool when companies are able to take it and do a good job of it, because I feel like that's a tough thing to live up to, especially with tabletop games, which, as you said, Jack, like, yeah, you have lots of choice in these video games, but in tabletop games, your choice is literally only limited by your imagination and what the DM may or may not allow you to do, right? Like that's a tough thing to
Norman is a living embodiment of that.
Yeah. Ooh, Call of Cthulhu game but actually based on the tabletop and not the other stupid fucking Call of Cthulhu properties that they've put out.
There was a Call of Cthulhu game that I haven't played.
Yeah, it yet, that's completely different from the tabletop, because Call of Cthulhu was a name of one of H.P. Lovecraft's stories that has kind of made it into the zeitgeist around his work. And all of his stuff is public domain, so anyone can do whatever they want with it.
That was nice of them.
I'm looking forward to it. Like, regardless of the issues, I'm looking forward to it. Because, like you said, Peter, I haven't seen anything. Maybe you've seen it. It is running fine on Series X, right? It just isn't enhanced for the new console.
Like, I think there's still like small judders here and there, but like it's largely fine. It's like if I had a Series X, I'd be playing it.
Yeah. Okay. So I am looking forward to it. Like, once I get through the beast that I'm currently contending with,
kill one beast and start fighting another.
Yeah,
too many things to do. Too many games.
I was saying this to Peter before the podcast started. I was like, you know what? I love open world games, but they're becoming too big. Like, it's getting to the point where it's like, this game is minimum like 100 hours, and that's just like bare bones trying to get through it. And then you to me that's too much. Like, I feel like, especially games that require you to be certain levels to do certain parts of the campaign, it's like they kind of force you to do everything. And like I really like the new Assassin's Creed, but it is extremely large and there is a lot to it. The story is wonderful. So like I've been progressing through the story, phenomenal. But yeah, I don't know, open world games, I'm looking forward to, honestly, when I'm finished Assassin's Creed, to finishing that 8-hour long game that we have to play for our new series coming to YouTube, because it's just a nice linear, fucking play this game. Old school. Yeah, there's a campaign, you get what we give you, fucking
get in, get out.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than a big empty open world that's just there to prop up like 30 hours of main story.
Yeah, like,
and then once you get through that and there's absolutely no substance to the world, it's just like, well, this sucks.
Well, I will defend Valhalla. The world isn't empty; it's almost too full. Like, the world's very pretty. The game design is phenomenal. Like, excellent job on their part. The story is actually quite in depth compared to previous Assassin's Creeds of the newer generation. Like, Origins didn't have a super in-depth story. Odyssey, it was better, but it still lacked depth. Like, I didn't care about characters in Odyssey. Valhalla, there's actually been there's been some. I don't want to spoil too much because Grayden's playing the game right now, so I don't want to ruin the story for him. But there's options where it's a pretty big disgrace in Viking culture to not die with an axe in your hand, right? Because it's how you get to Valhalla based on their lore and beliefs. And there's like times where you can make decisions based off that. There's betrayals, there's double crosses. It's fucking filled with quite a bit. So I'm actually pretty impressed that way, because I was kind of going into it where it's like, you know, it's an Assassin's Creed game of this generation. The story's not going to be in depth. The gameplay will be fun, but the story's kind of going to be pretty surface level. And they did a good job of it, making it in depth. It's the issue that I'm running into right now is that, like, I like to complete my map. I hate having things on my map that I haven't done.
Oh, Jared, you're playing the wrong game.
Yeah, I know. And so it's been really tough to kind of get through, because, you know, I haven't been able to, like, I'll enjoy a portion of the story, and then for the next like 20 hours I'm fucking running around this map getting shit. So I've kind of decided that I'm just gonna like throw on some podcasts and just collect everything. And then I'm going to just play the story through with all the fast travel points, because then I can just enjoy the story for what it is.
Why even do the collectibles?
Because I want to get the certain armor. I guess I could look that up, but I want to get the actual assassin's armor. But you have to go to all the old stuff, and it's a process and a half. But I also want to face there's certain mythical beasts from like the history inside, like they do in most of the Assassin's Creed games now, that are like the past two, where they actually make you go against like mythological creatures or some sort of thing like that, and I'm looking forward to facing those, because it's kind of cool. It's a neat little like sub story underneath the main thing. So I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's a process and a half. I just, you know, you kind of want it where it's like there's too many maps as well. Like, you go everywhere.
Well, it's hard too when those little side objectives are so much fun. Like, I love the dice card game thing.
Oh, excellent. Freaking great.
And the I forget what it's called. Like, I don't know if
it's
you've
flighting.
seen it. Flighting, Jack. I think you would love flighting.
Was that the rap battles?
It's basically,
it's essentially the rap battle.
Except it's done elegantly, and you're just insulting each other back and forth, and
It's
I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Every time I see it on the map, I'm like, yeah.
I was trying to see if, because they also have like a drinking game where it's like basically a timed check that you have to do, and you have to beat the person you put money against it. It's not super hard. It's not super complex. But I've been doing all of them just because I didn't bother looking at all the achievements, and there's always secret achievements, so who knows what the fuck those are. So I just kind of do everything to see if I can get some of those achievements. But no, they like that mini game. I was saying to Grayden when he first started playing it, I kind of wish there was an app game version of it, because it's a lot of fun. Like, it's simplistic but extremely entertaining. And I don't usually do like games inside games. I'll usually kind of just ignore them. I even did with Gwent. I played a bit of the app, but
you ignored Gwent? Gwent's one of the best parts of Witcher 3.
I didn't do a lot of it. I honestly didn't. I played like some of the, when I'd go in and if I was doing an objective near Gwent, I'd play it, but I wouldn't.
So many side quests related to Gwent.
Yeah.
Surprising number, yeah.
There's an entire heist mission in the late game in Novigrad where you had to infiltrate a high rollers like fucking Gwent.
I did that one.
You just didn't care
you probably
about what was going on.
Because you had a shitty deck that you never bothered to build. You probably lost in the first round and had to fucking solve the mystery because they begged you to, not because you had to get your money.
But no, I don't know. I need some evening out. It was because I was saying to Peter that Erik also was like, "Hey Jared, come play Destiny 2 with me," and I was like, "Man, I can tackle one beast at a time. I can't tackle. I can't. It's too much to do. Too much stuff to do. It almost becomes a chore. It's no longer really fun to do it. So." Yeah,
that's why I stopped achievement hunting, because I started feeling like I was doing chores rather than playing video games for fun.
Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do, like I said, I'm just gonna go do some of the armor collectibles. Like, I'm only doing the main stuff. I'm not doing. There's like a bunch of like, you have the main wealth in an area, mysteries, artifacts. I'm gonna do those, but then there's like, if you go somewhere, you can find a bunch of little gold circles that are like on like just loot chests that are for like, you know, iron, fabric, stuff like that. All my stuff's upgraded already, so I'm not too concerned about it. So I'm gonna ignore all that. I'm just going for main points, which at least I can like look up on IGN, because some of them don't come up unless you're really close to them. I've run into that a few times where I couldn't find like the last wealth, or I couldn't find the last mystery, and it's been interesting. I didn't run into that until the last few areas I went to. Before, it was usually I'd just come across them, but I'm hoping to get into Cyberpunk at least in the earlier in the next year, but I mean that might be a little bit ambitious based on where I'm at right now.
Oh, so many games. Speaking of games, the Game Awards happened.
They did.
Yeah.
We were there for it.
There was a great many announcements.
But before we move on, I just want to mention, don't fucking send death threats to people who worked on Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
Sorry. Because, like, you're just being a shithead now. Like, this thing that you were, like, now you're being a piss baby and, like, making people fear for their lives and making people uncomfortable. People who slaved away trying to do something nice.
Also, can we just say, like, why it's like at the end of the day, it's a fucking video game. Why are you sending a death threat to someone over a video game?
Critical, a couple days before the game came out, he posted a great video about Cyberpunk, saying like it's not the fucking Bible 2, you know, it's nothing. It's not going to change your life. It's a video game. You know, all these people who are taking 2 weeks off work to play the game, don't do that. You're an adult. It's a video game. Just like lower your expectations.
Well, it sucked to take 2 weeks off, then try playing it on a base level console, being like, "Hey, can I come back to work?
Can I please come back to work?"
Man, even when Red Dead 2 came out, it was like, well, am I going to take like 1 day off to play this game? And it was like, no, that's ridiculous. I'm gonna go to work like a fucking adult and fucking do my job, and I'll play it when I get home.
Yeah,
and I did. I wasn't let down.
I feel like that's how all of us.
Threats.
I feel like that's how all of us. You didn't make any death threats, Jack. Not about.
I did. No, because it was a great game.
I thought you
made it.
They fucked it up. Oh man, I would have been on the warpath.
I was gonna say I thought they released the online standalone because you sent death threats saying the online was shit. So.
We need more people playing.
Could you imagine if that was the kind of person I was? Oh. I was like, I like the idea that I would send death threats about the online, Red Dead Online. There's not enough people in this clown car, Rockstar.
Oh, man.
That's it, Rockstar. I'm sharpening my machete. I'm coming down to San Antonio or Los Angeles or wherever the fuck you are.
That blows me away for anyone. Just like to take time off, like everything else in your life, to play a game. Like I feel like, speaking for all four of us, you know, we play games when we have some extra time or some like free time to play games. We don't. I've never myself, like, at least since I've been an adult, like maybe as a kid you'll be like, oh, this game's coming, I'm gonna fucking play that game that whole day. But it's like, I feel like now it's, yeah, exactly what you said, Jack. It's like I'm working. When I get home, I'll play it, or when I get somewhere else, I'll play it. Like, I don't know.
Well, like for Cyberpunk, I was very excited about that, but I just went to bed early the night earlier, and I got up a couple hours earlier than I normally would, played it for like an hour and a half, discovered the bugs, and then I started working.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm. Yeah. Simple as that. I think that's ridiculous when people are like, I'm taking time off work to play this game. It's like, no, go to work, make money, please.
You're costing yourself money. You paid for a product. There's a lot of people that
wish they could be. I was gonna say, there's a lot of people that wish they could be making money at the same time. You're like, I'm gonna take time off work.
I mean, the other thing is, like, at least with all like Cyberpunk and Red Dead, at least those are games that I could, maybe I could kind of see taking a little bit of time. I knew guys back in the day for the most recent Call of Duty that took time off from work.
Oh, no,
like, it's Call of Duty, no. What are you doing?
That's a bit, not great.
Every rose has its thorns.
Yeah, it's...
But anyway, Game Awards, Last of Us 2 won, like, everything.
People are mad about that.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm going to play Hades right now, just to make it up to the poor people who work
Hell
so
yeah.
hard on. Oh man, it needs an update. Oh. All
I
right.
bet if they won all the awards, Jack, the update they would have just said their game was good enough, and they wouldn't have had an update.
Well, it's going back in the charging port, and I'll play it later, I guess.
All right, quick rundown of new things that were announced at the Game Awards. New Perfect Dark video game. We got a fucking trailer for the new Mass Effect for whatever reason.
So excited!
We did not need a trailer. That does nothing for me. That was just like Bethesda flashing Elder Scrolls 6.
Don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up. You'll send death threats to BioWare.
No, that would have already come. There's many reasons why I would have done that.
You might as well just take all of next year off, just in case it comes out.
Yeah.
Just in case it comes out early, like they did for the fucking one DLC for Fallout 76. That was the dumbest marketing thing I've ever seen in my life.
We got the Flight Simulator on Xbox Series X. We got the developers of Left 4 Dead doing Back 4 Blood, which is more zombie killing. It
looks kind of good though. Like it looks really reminiscent of Left 4 Dead. I played like Left 4 Dead maybe a handful of times.
Oh, I played a lot of Left 4 Dead.
It looks very reminiscent.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep my eye on it. We have Ark 2 starring Vin Diesel for whatever reason.
I can't wait for Ark 2.
I don't understand it, but whatever.
He's a big name, and they wanted to market Ark, so there you go.
He's a big name. They probably hired for cheap compared to other big names.
Wow. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that Vin Diesel's going to be in Ark 2 and not the best dinosaur video game coming out soon. Goodbye Volcano High. I think he really could have brought something to the table in Goodbye Volcano High.
I mean, that voice?
Absolutely.
I was actually kind of interested watching that trailer. And I was like, I don't know what this is in. Kind of looks dumb, but like, I guess it could be fun. And then I saw it was Ark 2, and I was like, fuck, who gives a shit? This doesn't matter. Why is he in this?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Your own custom character who looks like an idiot and run around the forest.
I was gonna say, that's one of those trailers where there's really no relevance to having him in it. Maybe they were trying to using him, they were trying to show the extent of their new character design, so you don't have to look like a fucking idiot running around the forest. But knowing us, we're gonna make idiots running around the forest regardless of whether you can make a better looking character or not.
I'm surprised they even made an Ark 2. I thought they were I thought Ark 1 was like a live service enough game that they just keep charging people for expansions on there. But
I can't lie, I was not expecting that to be an announcement. I was with you, especially since they just released another update for Ark 1 that was like a big, massive update to everything.
Why are people still making these big survival resource management type
They're
games?
actually,
I thought
there's a decent following from what I was looking on it. Like Ark has a pretty decent following.
All right, well I'm sure someone's excited.
I don't understand Ark personally. I never got into it.
Yeah.
Stop sharpening the pitchforks, boys. We don't.
I played it. It was fun when we were fucking getting shit on. That's when it was most fun. As soon as I was playing with Alec, Erik, and Brendan, and I was they were running around just murdering everything I once was terrified of. I was like, well, this game, they have beat Ark. I don't have any reason to do anything. It was always the best when it was like, hey guys, remember, I think it was Grayden and Peter, I think you were there for our first cave exploration ever with Erik with the big centipedes. And we walked in, we're like, oh, we're fucking hyped up. We got our guns, we got our fucking healing, we got our awesome dinosaurs. We walked in, and those centipedes fucking ripped us apart in about 5 seconds of walking in that cave. And we were just panicking, and that was fun. When I walked in there with Brendan, Alec, and Erik, and I was like, oh, guys, this is intense. They're like, no, it's not that bad. We've cleared 7 caves yesterday. And I was like, oh. Okay.
You have evolved.
Yeah, this game is no longer fun to me.
The Game Awards
Never mind, go on.
We got a new Among Us map. We got to see it. Whoa, wow, yay.
There's ladders now.
And little moving platforms, Jack. You forgot about the moving
like-
platforms.
Platforms.
For how big this game got, they just showed what the map looks like. Are you kidding me, guys? What are you doing over there? Hire someone else. Anyway, I'm not a developer. I don't know how these things work.
Also, have more than one
There's
map.
only
It's a very simplistic art design. I feel like you could easily add multiple maps or something.
Well,
That's
there's
what I
only
was-
like 4 of them.
But I was saying this the other day, like, your game explodes after, like, a year of relative dormancy. You start making all of this cash. There's a huge impetus to, put more stuff out, like, even just a couple more maps, and you just drag your feet. You could hire some more people,
Yeah, do what the guy for Stardew Valley did, where it's like as soon as his game started to launch off, he got a team to help him keep up with all the put new stuff out.
Yeah, and Among Us is not nearly as complex as Stardew Valley.
Oh no, not even.
It's not even like a fraction of as complex, nor as like impressive or fun.
Yeah. I find it like it's good for a few games, and it's just kind of I lose interest in it pretty fast.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, like they just flat out canceled Among Us 2 to work full time on Among Us 1. So I'd like to see some of that work you said you're doing.
Well, here's the thing. I don't like for Among Us is fun. I feel like when you don't have people who are really trying hard, like really going hard at it, I feel like when you're joking around or like messing around, it's a pretty fun game. I haven't had a good time when we've had too many people that are like hardcore Among Us players.
Some of the private matches we've been in have gone a little bit like I'm being investigated for war crimes or something like that. It's like, Jesus, this is a video game, right?
In Fortnite, Master Chief is there, and so is Red versus Blue. Yay! That was very cringe.
I will say
disgusting.
I did kind of laugh with the fridge scene. That was okay. That was pretty decently funny. But seeing Jeff and Red versus Blue in it, I was like, what are you doing, Jeff? I know you're making dollar bills from this fucking little 5-minute little skit you did, but
Foined the lines over the phone.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so hard listening to him deliver the voice lines, because you could tell Matt was just doing like the Sarge voice that he loves doing, and it's like he's the same Sarge you've always known. And then Jeff is like just like,
hey guys,
wow, have you ever seen something like this? It's like Ninja put more fucking effort into his lines than Jeff did.
Oh, I forgot Ninja was there. Fuck.
Yeah, Jeff's been playing this character for 20 years, and Ninja's some blue-haired weirdo who has $1 billion fucking dollars for being
Ninja.
okay at video games. Like, it's not like Ninja's the best in the world at Fortnite.
He's just Fortnite guy.
Yeah.
Well, it's like back in just kind of on that note. I mean, I remember when COD was like, well, I mean, COD's still big, but like when I used to watch a lot of YouTube and COD stuff or COD YouTubers and things like that, they were always amazing at the game. Like they're fucking ridiculously good. And it's like, that's no longer a requirement. You don't have to be the best to be like big on YouTube for that game.
You don't even have to be like funny or charismatic.
No. Like there's some streamers I've just popped in to be like, hey, what are some ideas I could take for our streams and we could incorporate for our streams? And I'm sitting there, I'm like, you're more boring. You're fucking boring as shit. You don't say anything. You just sit there and play your game, and you have 10,000 people watching your fucking stream.
There was this funny clip I saw on YouTube where Ninja accidentally went live on Twitch like 30 seconds earlier than he anticipated. And he was just sitting there like drinking a Coca-Cola, like a Diet Coke, with this dead stare in his eyes, not realizing the camera was on and he was live to thousands of people. And it was like, this is a man with a horde of children at his beck and call. And he is the saddest looking motherfucker I've ever seen.
That's what happens when you have thousands of hours in Fortnite.
And then as soon as he realized the camera was rolling, persona completely changed. Like, oh, hey guys, it's me, Ninja, or whatever. He's fucking like, I don't fucking know what he does.
Well, that's a good performer. That's a good entertainer able to like switch it on and off like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we were destroyed by Minecraft. Like, it got to a point where we were just like,
yeah,
we were
but
sitting there.
if I was
Like
getting
pre-Steam-
thousands of dollars, I would also be a little more incentivized to put an effort in.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
I agree with that.
I agree with that, but I'm just saying, like you, like behind the scenes, you saw what it was doing to us. Like we were just like, I fucking hate our life choices. What have we done?
no, money can make me suppress the pain and keep going.
Yeah.
For the right price, I can agree with that.
For the right price, Live Connection will be a Minecraft daycare.
We will bring Minecraft to Fortnite.
However, you have to join the highest level of our Patreon, which is $5,000 a week, in order to join Minecraft World.
I'll send you a text message every week saying hi.
Yeah. A little kissy face emoji.
You get access to my OnlyFans account.
There's nothing on there.
I didn't say I was
Yeah.
putting anything on my OnlyFans account, but you get access to it.
It's just pictures of it's just pictures, just a color and text saying "Go back to work so you can keep paying for this."
Every Thursday before the stream, I'll post a picture of myself eating a different bowl of cereal.
You know what, Jack? You say that as a joke, but I bet you there's someone out there who's making bank off of posting pictures of them eating something different every time.
ASMR sounds, people love it.
Mm-hmm. Mukbang Twitch users, people love watching other people eat for some reason. I mean, it's
Not only
probably
eat a lot.
Yeah,
That
I imagine it's a fetish thing. I imagine people like, oh, it's so hot watching you eat. So
the only thing that would do for me is make me hungry.
yeah,
Like watching people eat good looking food, and I'll be like, I guess I'll go eat what I always eat.
anyways, continuing on. Put Sephiroth on that list.
Sephiroth, yeah. People got real excited about that.
What was? But why? Why?
Why? Because he's a big character. He's famous. Everyone loves him. Big Final Fantasy guy.
You know what? I was there when they got released. I think Erik and Peter were more devastated by what happened to Mario. in
Yeah,
the
that's
trailer
fucked up. Have you
Sephiroth.
seen that still image? Have you seen Mario dying? That's fucked up, man.
The once great hero of Nintendo?
Stabbed
on his
through the
knees.
neck? Like, what the fuck? You can't do Mario like that. He's been making you billions of dollars. And you just fucking...
That's how Nintendo feels about their fan base too. You just stab them through the neck and
Yeah,
call it
that's
a day.
very true. Very true. Just circling back to Ninja real quick. Like, he's definitely faded into obscurity, but until a week ago, he still held like the viewer record on Twitch of having the most concurrent viewers.
I'm always impressed by that. That's pretty, like, for people who are good at what they do and they draw them in, regardless of who the crowd is or who their fan is, like majority of population, to get that many people is impressive.
It was because he
hang
was
on,
streaming with Drake.
So did somebody surpass that?
Yes.
Who did that?
Greg is their name. Apparently, it was a Spanish
Greg.
stream. I've never heard of
Oh.
this person, but I just
Is it a game streamer or is it something else?
no. He's like a Twitch streamer. I honestly
No,
don't.
I know, but like, because there's some people who like on stream. I've seen like musicians stream on Twitch. Just
Yeah.
their music.
I don't know. I just saw it in a headline, so I really don't know any more other details other than that. This guy surpassed 100,000 viewers on Twitch at once.
That's impressive.
seven-
And yet, when we get 7 viewers, we're like, fuck yeah, we surpassed our goal.
I need to learn Spanish.
When was the last time we even got 7 viewers? I don't remember.
Minecraft.
Ah, right.
Bring back the craft.
You know,
Bring back-
I'll just get out all my old phones, make an account for them all, and have them watch Live Connection.
Perfect.
Oh man.
More games. It Takes Two. That was the new co-op game. That looks interesting. I'm curious to see what
looked
exactly
funny.
that's like. Yeah.
Mhm. There was one that was like announced and released that I was interested in. Hold on, I wrote it down.
Now it's,
Warhammer did their new one.
The
yeah.
shady part of me.
I don't even think that's on this list.
It's not important enough to have made Peter's list, Grayden.
Polygon's list
yeah.
that I'm now repurposing.
You didn't even make your own fucking list?
No, I was honestly I took compiling
You
Cyberpunk
should have
info
used
took way
Metacritic's
longer.
list.
Fucking Metacritic. I fucking hate Metacritic. There's that Dead Space looking game, the Callisto Protocol.
Yeah, that looks good. I'm excited for that. Oh, I'm excited to like see where it goes. I kind of want to, I have to be skeptical now with any game that I'm interested in because it seems like it's my specific games that I like that turn into shit. So, we'll take it by here.
And personally, my highlight of the show, the Swedish chef coming to Overcooked. I can't wait to main him. And yeah, that was...
So we had the Muppets crossover with Untitled Goose Game last year, and now we get a Muppets crossover with Overcooked.
Yeah, the Muppets
I'm honestly
are
surprised Overcooked hasn't done more with like big chefs and like making cartoon mini versions of them for DLCs for their games.
Cartoon Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah. Just looks angry all the time when he's in the kitchen. Or like depending how much money you're making, his facial expression changes.
When you like toss an ingredient and once in a while just play one of the iconic voice lines.
Didn't get it out on time. Are you fucking insane? Oh man. I feel there's some fun shit they could do with that game, but they just don't do enough with it.
Yeah.
Probably because Gordon Ramsay costs too much.
Probably.
Overcooked is great. It's weird that it doesn't occupy like more of the indie space.
Yeah, like I play it when with Bobby. That's the game we play together.
Can't play it now; it's illegal.
That's true.
No Overcooked.
Yeah.
No,
No.
not unless you're doing it separately.
Nope, it's true.
Well, Overcooked 2 came out like late 2018, so we might get one at some point. Another one.
Overcooked 2 did like I didn't think there was a lot you could like change with it, but Overcooked 2 did introduce quite a bit of stuff from Overcooked 1.
Just don't send death threats to the Overcooked developers.
I expect certain foods to be able to be made in the game, and if they don't have those foods, I'm going to send death threats instantly.
If I can't put pizza pockets in the microwave to send out to my hungry customers, I'm going to scream.
Oh my god, we joke, but people are so dumb.
I waited.
I just never got that. Like, if a game's shit, I just say that sucks. That's really shitty.
I need to act. I need to do something about this.
Why stop at games? If I go to the grocery store and I get a mushy apple, the grocery store's getting a letter.
Death threat. One of your employees will not be coming to work tomorrow.
We might as well just start swatting while we're at it. Like, if we're gonna be doing these fucking heinous things, let's really layer it on.
Could you imagine if you had like a new developer, hasn't made a single game, they start announcing this game, it's a little small game, and it's like they release it, it's like, you fucking are dead! How dare you release such a game? Talk about deterring someone from the industry.
It's like it goes into this like mentality that I saw a good post about it. I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 months ago or whatever, where being a gamer it's a manufactured identity, but so many people base so much of themselves around this moniker that I'm a gamer, I'm special. And if things like begin to threaten that worldview, it makes you lash out in unpredictable and like pretty scary ways, because a lot of like especially young people really tie a lot of their self-worth and identity behind this being a gamer, when in actuality it's just something that corporations like made up to sell you more shit. Like I don't describe myself. If I meet somebody, I never tell them I'm a fucking gamer. I'm like, yeah, I play some video games.
Yeah. It's not the first thing out of my mouth.
Yeah, like
it's almost like
if someone like actively is like, I'm a gamer, I'm like, don't say that. I have bad opinions of you now.
Like, I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like that for most, it's weird because it's like it's such a large grossing industry, but it's almost a turn off if you say outright that you're just a gamer instead of something else that you do. Like,
you would never put gamer in a Tinder bio.
But people do. I've seen people do it.
Well,
Grayden did it.
Did it work?
Peter do that.
Peter puts entrepreneur in.
Yeah. Oh, gamer isn't a part of that. It's not a word I would combine with my identity, but even though I am a gamer,
who
but
I
it's
am.
just the word. I wouldn't use the word gamer. I don't know.
You didn't actually put the word entrepreneur in your Tinder.
No.
profile, did you, Peter?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm a
Because
I have a YouTube channel.
The word entrepreneur has the same has the same problem
yeah.
the gamer does.
Oh yeah, no doubt there.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I was just trying to Google something.
What is a unique way you could put a gamer? It's like some technological entrepreneur. I'm a technological entrepreneur.
I train my hands daily.
I specialize in fast-moving, adaptive response.
Reaction times. Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, and like the other thing is that there's so many gamers nowadays that it's a weird conundrum.
Mm-hmm.
Like realistically, unless you do it for your career, like you're a professional esports gamer, you really shouldn't have that as your bio or your job or like the description of you. Like you should have like, I don't know, like for Jack, a wine connoisseur or something like that, or
Sure. Yeah.
or like I don't know. Like for me, I'm in the health industry, so something related to that. So I don't know. I feel like they're the only ones that really should be called gamers because they're actually making copious amounts of money playing video games professionally.
There's so many things I would talk about myself before I start talking about video games,
I'm not gonna lie. If I opened up to Bobby and said like our first time meeting each other, and I said to her, "Hey, I'm Jared. I'm a gamer," I'm pretty sure she would have fucking left. I can almost guarantee you she would have left because now it's like she knows that I'm pretty nerdy on the gaming side and like the Star Wars and all that stuff. And she's like, she puts up with it because, I do, I go hiking with her. We do other stuff. It's fun. We have a lot in common. It's just not gaming. She's not a gamer. She doesn't like, it's not her thing of interest, but she doesn't care that I do it.
That's the root of the problem. Jared, it's not an issue for you because you do other things. Yes, you play video games, but you have all these other hobbies. It's the same thing with me. It's like, yes, I play video games, a little bit. I used to play them a lot more when I was younger, but I've got a job now that I really care for. It's given me this other avenue. I've been a musician for the past decade. That's really important to me. The past couple years I've gotten really into tabletop role-playing games. That's a little bit nerdy, but I would rather talk about that than talk about fucking being a gamer.
Yeah,
'Cause
totally.
There's no negative connotation with the other things that I do. Whereas being a gamer, I absolutely see that is a negative thing.
Isn't Dungeons and Dragons devil worship? Isn't it ruining the kids?
Satanic panic. It's coming back.
I would love to see that. I would love to see them try and bring the satanic panic back. It'd be hilarious.
Oh, that would be good. I find it so funny how D&D had that whole segment of its life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's also really sad about some of the history behind that as well. About some of the shit that happened to sort of kick it off. But yeah, it's definitely a weird chapter in history, and it's like, this is what we're gonna focus on.
Yeah,
Dungeons and Dragons.
We could kind of focus on other things.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if they took a game like Monopoly that seriously, like, oh, these guys are fucking scumbags. They're cheating money out of people.
Illuminati, they're training to take over the world.
Capitalist panic.
Someone owns the bank? What? That's not real.
Every time you start a new new game, it's a great reset.
The great reset.
Jared always gets dark blue, and it's not a coincidence.
My kids are playing Clue. They're clearly conspiring to kill rich white people like us.
The best part is if you brought that to sense, like say with the Satanic Panic with D&D, if you brought that to sense and were like, hey, all these other games, you can joke about that, they'd be like, no, that's different. Yeah. That's different. That's not the same.
It's always been like that. In some issue or another, at some point, there's always an issue where people get overly upset about something, like one thing in particular, and then everything else is fine though.
Violence.
Yeah, even if you can relate it to something else.
Yeah, I mean, you need a scapegoat.
That's true.
Your arguments don't hold up unless you can point at it and be like, this is the problem with my children. I'm an excellent parent. I'm a good Christian mother, and I go to church and bake sponge cake. It's clearly the click clack dice game that has turned my child to the devil.
They're casting magic spells down there. That ain't right. That ain't natural.
Some of the things they say they should never have said.
A tier 3 spell? I don't know what that is, but it sounds dangerous.
And then you cut to like our modern day game of Dungeons and Dragons, or like the one that Grayden hosted, where it's like, "Be free, horse." No.
You know what? My druid did not contribute a lot when it came to combat, but man, I progressed the story something fierce.
Progress the memes at least.
One of my favorites. I think back to that spear moment a lot too, and it's hilarious, and I love it. But like, I really like after the second go, should have just let you pick up the spear. I shouldn't even really have been a roll.
It was 7 rounds, and then I finally picked it up, and the combat was over. Everyone killed everyone. I was sitting there, just imagining myself like, nope, no.
You're like a broken AI.
I've learned so much since then. I shouldn't have done a roll for that, but it was funny.
It was. I wasn't even there for it, but
it was a great moment. You know, it's fucking
definitely memorable.
And now Uthal's thing is Superman landings or Iron Man landings in the middle of things.
Yep. Okay, you plummet 30 feet down to a boat, and the fish people hear you.
Oh man.
All right, guys. Well, that's time for the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh.
Man, we managed to stick
to 2 for winning the Game Awards.
Wow, there goes our views. Live Connection will never be big now.
That's what did us. That's our scapegoat.
Yeah, yep. That's our lack of success is Last of Us 2 winning all of the Game Awards.
Satan did it to us.
We tried to tell Peter to go the other way, but he wouldn't. He was just casting 3rd level spells in his basement.
Oh my god, he's wearing a red shirt. He brought on the satanic.
The devil's
Look at the lighting in his room.
That's right. He's got his grips on me.
I love how that argument doesn't hold up at all, because we stream every Sunday morning. This is when we do the podcast, so you can't go to church even if you want to. You go to the later service, maybe.
Peter's a nighttime service kind of guy.
Oh, me too, but it's a different kind of church. It's in a cave, and we draw pentagrams with our own blood.
Oh.
As long as there's no death threats.
It's not satanic. I just go there and pray to pagan gods and roll D20s around.
Oh, man.
Well, if you want to partake in demonic rituals, now you know our channel. Feel free to...
We aren't gamers. We're demonic worshippers.
It's a team.
I think we found our niche, guys.
I think so. I'm going to put that in my Tinder profile. Musician, wine guy, satanic acolyte.
The last
acolyte
picture
of Satan.
Is just, you beside a pentagram just posing.
And then the rest of my profile is written in Latin.
Let's start wearing eyeshadow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're a Live Connection. We stream every Thursday and Sunday. We're a variety channel. We do a bunch of stuff. Are we doing Call of Cthulhu this Thursday?
That was the game plan. Yeah,
okay, that's what I thought.
I was hoping to do one more session, and then probably take Christmas and New Year's off, because I imagine people will be busy.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be alone here in my house on Christmas.
Oh, buddy.
2020.
But it takes a heavy toll.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Bye.
But yeah. On that cheerful note.
All right, I
See you
Jared
guys
said
next
bye.
time.
Yeah. Bye.
Join us next time for the next episode of the Grayden podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for tuning in,
What time
guys.
will we start next week?
10:30.
You never know. You never know.